Warning: the love virus is highly contagious. Spread at your own risk.
I'm Shantae Yvette, and I am talking about awakening. How all of us, not some of us, not majority of us, all of us are at different levels of awakening. What I mean by that is some of us is at a 3D level of awakening, for some 4D and some 5D levels of awakening. And sometimes we shift between the two, or sometimes for those of us who are on a lower vibrational timeline, we stay within that lower vibrational reality. And within that lower vibrational reality comes all the stages of fear that I've already talked about previously in my podcast prior to this one. And this is where we operate, some of us who are on that level of awakening. This is why I say everybody has awakened, but we're just at different levels. Some of us, I don't care if you're talking about a narcissistic person, a psychopath, they are at the level of awakening that is benefiting them. And also, when you look at it as a whole, it is benefiting others to learn from them, whatever it is that we need to learn from them. So they are at that level of existence. They have came here to do exactly what they have came here to do, because if they did not come here to do it in the first place, they would never be doing it. Then it moves on to the 4D level of awakening. And in the 4D level of awakening, that's when you start begin to question the systems and beliefs and the conditionings of the 3D physical reality. Oh, you start questioning different religions that you may have been taught. You start questioning the governmental systems. You start questioning things you have learned through your family bloodline that has been passed down from generations to generations. You start questioning these things. You start realizing certain things are just not adding up. That's when you go into your emotional clearing and you start realizing duality, duality, right and wrong. You have more compassion, you have more awareness. Time feels fluid. And you start craving for the truth. I know when I first started going on this journey, I was so frustrated because I felt all my life I was lied to. And that is one thing I did not like at all. To find out I was lied to, once I started digging deeper into everything that people, my family was telling me that did not make any sense. Everything that I have learned through our family's religion that I have dig deeper into, and I started, because I even then I was questioning why, but the answer was always do not question God. But when you truly think about it, God is the one who created this curiosity within me anyways. So therefore God even put this in me to ask and be curious about these answers, because I needed these answers. I needed these facts. I needed to know, why would God do this? Why can I not do this? So I started questioning all of these things. And then I started to question, why does our government treat us this way? Especially being a black woman. Why are we treated this way from our government? Everything I started to realize was a form of either control to instate fear. Everything really was a form of control to instate fear, whether that was through our governmental system, whether that was through my religious programming, whether that was through family, like, how family will just pass on things that just doesn't make any sense. Like, I remember my grandma, I mean, not my grandma, my mom used to say, when I got a sty in my eye, I used to always get it. And so I started to believe that this was the cause of me getting a sty in my eye, is because if I point at the stars, I would get a sty in my eye. Did not know the scientific facts behind the reason why I had this sty in my eye. I just automatically thought, because every time I would point up to the stars, I would get a sty in my eye. And I'm pretty sure she believed it, because why? It was passed down to her. It was passed down from generation to generation, just like my grandma about a black cat crossing the street. She would never, whenever she would see a black cat cross the street, she would go the opposite way, because she figured, she thought it was bad luck to do so. So I've never put it together until I got older that a lot of these things that were passed down were just out of fear. So that is when you start realizing people operate in these different levels of awakening. And now, once you get to the 5D, I personally did not expect to get to the 5D. I felt it was like I couldn't operate in this 3D physical reality, because you get to this place of not judging anybody. You get to this place of oneness. You get to this place of unconditional love. You just start living in the now, and you just, and I do shift between 4D and 5D, but I mainly stick with 5D, and then sometimes I go to the 4D, because it's I feel like in this 3D physical realm, you have to be able to live between the two. You have to, because how else am I going to connect and talk to others? How else am I going to really appreciate the moment? And this is why I've reached a deeper level of just knowing that we all are at different levels of awakening. I have learned to, and a lot of the reason people will be so judgmental and just really just look at those that are on a lower vibrational level of awakening, they will look at them as if they are bad, if they are evil, and all these things, because they have not dealt with the shadow. Once you start realizing you have that darkness within you, the darkness in the light, you get to choose whichever one you want to operate in today. And some of you guys simply don't even choose, because at the moment somebody says something to you that you do not like, here is your shadow showing up to defend, because this is what the shadow does. The shadow is here to help us feel safe, and to help and to defend whatever the shadow feels it needs to defend. So once you learn to really appreciate, understand, be compassionate towards your darkness, then you can understand how these low vibrational people are at their level of awakening. It's not maybe your level of awakening, but it is on a level of awakening. And I know people, I know you guys, some of you may not get it, because we are all at different stages of awakening. We are all at different levels on this journey. But it is a journey, and I personally will not judge you if you don't get it right now, because later down the line you may get it. Because I know that sometime later down the line I have gotten things that I may have not gotten before. Because I remember my dad had this conversation with me about forgiveness. And I was so upset at that time because of the thing that I was dealing with. I was still in it. And I was like, I could never. But forgiveness wasn't about the other person, it was all about me. It was all about forgiving myself for even being in this situation in the first place, especially knowing me and how I interact with others. I know when something isn't right for me, and I would just override it and override it and override it and give others the benefit of the doubt. So I had to forgive myself first and foremost. And then I was able to forgive them because they are what? A teacher. They are here to teach me what it is I needed to learn. And more than likely, most of the lessons we have to learn from people that have created toxicity within our lives is self-love in the first place. This is why at that level of awareness that he was currently at, the person I was dealing with was currently at that time, this is how I was able to forgive, because that was his level of awareness. That was his level of awakening. That is what he came here to do. To, if it wasn't just to simply teach me and also get whatever it is, oh, excuse me, whatever it is that he needed out of this lesson of life. It's so fascinating when you truly think about it. I have realized that we all are one. We all have some of the same experiences, and some of us share the same journeys because we all are connected. Whether that's even in the even in the lower consciousness level. If you ever been lower and you see how far you have come, you realize you was in that lower consciousness level. And now I can look back and see I was there at one point. It may not have been the same exact journey, but I was there. I was there. I was living in fear. Oh, excuse me. And fear itself, everybody has dealt with that. We all continue to deal with it today. How you get over fear is courage. How you learn to truly embrace others is by embracing yourself first, by being aware of the things that you are emotionally dealing with, you are physically dealing with, and you may be dealing with spiritually. Once you start realizing how far you truly have come, you deserve to celebrate. You deserve to really be proud of yourself for growing, for changing, for evolving beyond your past self. Like a lot of the times we forget to acknowledge how far we have come, whether that be physically, spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. You definitely should be proud of how far you've come, because I know if you found my podcast, you are on your way to freedom. You are on your way to elevation. Whatever that may look like for you. Enlightenment is something When I think of love, light, rainbows, sunshine, I think of the word enlightenment. Awakening includes the light in the darkness because it is different stages that can be on either end of the spectrum. Some may be in a neutral standpoint, but it's still going to be in the category of if you're operating in the 3D, 4D, or 5D reality on a spiritual dimension. It's going to be either or. 3D is the physical, 4D and 5D. So, either way, we're operating on one of those three. And if it's, a lower vibrational standpoint, it is going to be 3D because all the physical realm, all the lower vibrational awareness, that are on that level of awareness or awakening, all they're really focused on is anything that's physical, whether that's getting money, getting cars, getting clothes, getting using people to get it, manipulating, control, fear, whatever it is they have to do to get whatever it is physical, that's what they're going to do. And they all have a reason to do so. So I don't personally judge them for doing it because I know I've been there. I've been doing things just to get up in life. I used to work 18 hours a day just to get the things I wanted physically out of life. Didn't have any time for myself. I didn't have any time to really dig deeper into really knowing more about even if I didn't even know what the 4D or 5D even was. I didn't know any of that. I did know what anything on the lower vibrational spiritual realm, who they were and what they looked like and how they made me feel because I've always been a seer, whether no in any different stages of my life. I've always been a seer. So I always could see the lower vibrational beings even operating in 3D. And I hated it. I hated my gifting because it was so stressful to even have to deal with that every day. It was a constant. Like sometimes it would slow up when I move, but give it a couple of months and they'll be right back there. And then I ended up getting to a different level. And that's when I just started seeing the angelic beings and come to find out they was there the whole time. But because I only was operating in that lower vibrational, which I love to call the fear consciousness, I was operating in a fear conscious. Of course, that's what I'm going to attract and that's what I'm going to see because this is what I'm putting out into the universe to see is those low vibrational beings. The love consciousness, we some of us are even in different levels within that. Some of us realize that what you speak out of your mouth, it comes into reality. But then some of us are even on a deeper understanding of that and realize the universe speaks in energy. So it does not matter exactly what you say at your mouth. It matters about the energy behind what it is that you are saying out of your mouth. This is why plants, when you plant a plant and you speak to it, you can be saying, I love you. You are beautiful. You are getting big. But the energy behind it could be saying, I hate you. You are ugly. And guess what? The plant is gonna take off those energy and grow accordingly or not grow accordingly to what that energy you are saying to it. The words are really truly just a vessel. The energy is really truly what the universe is going to respond to. This is why in life you have to be careful how you feel about certain things that are happening in your life, certain situations that are happening in your life, because you can truly be attracting what it is that you say you do not want to attract, because the energy behind it is saying, I do want to attract this. Come. Because, like I said before, I used to be in such a low vibrational standpoint. All I attracted was low vibrational things. So if your thoughts are always negative or low vibrational, because, in reality, to me, it's low vibrational. It's not necessarily negative. It's whatever you need in that point in time. So if your thoughts are low vibrational and all you're thinking to yourself is, oh, I'm so ugly, oh, I'm so fat, I would never attract such a great mate. I could, like, all of men cheat, like how these women do. All men cheat. All men are just no good. You know how people do, and they really really feel like this. Guess what you're gonna keep attracting? A man that ain't good, a man that's gonna keep cheating on you, because it's not even that you're just saying it. You're thinking it and you truly feel that way. Because I can say that right now, and guess what? I'm not finna attract that, because I don't believe that. Even when I was on a lower vibrational standpoint, I didn't believe that all men cheat. I didn't believe that, so I never really had men really. I didn't really deal with cheating like that. Really, like, it was like very 1 out of 10 type of situation. Like, if I had a dude that cheated, it was not a main theme of my life. I always attracted toxicity, because why? I was toxic to myself. I kept thinking in my mind, I kept thinking in my mind all type of bad things about myself. And I seen all these bad things throughout childhood. So therefore, I just kept replaying the same childhood scenario over and over. Now I knew even then that this is not something that I wanted in my life, but I did not know how to necessarily change it until an awakening happened to another level of, oh, you need to change the way you think. You need to change. You need to really work on the trust within yourself, because I knew, like, when I meet somebody, I know right off the bat if I like them or not. Now, most of the time, what they would do was convince me. Therefore, I ended up liking them and overriding my initial thought. My initial thought was always right. I didn't like you for a reason, because the energy was screaming to me not to deal with you. But even with me dealing with you, I learned a lesson that I needed to learn. It was to, one, trust myself, and two, do not speak to myself like a horrible friend. So I don't put that energy out there to keep on attracting these things. That's how I've met my husband. Because I said I deserve better. I don't deserve this. I am such a good woman. In my mind, I didn't just say this out my mouth. I didn't even say it at all out my mouth. I just only thought this. I deserve better. I am such a good woman. All I do is I am so caring. I am so loving. And I really truly want someone just like me. And guess what? I got someone just like me. Now, maybe I should have really put a little bit more details in it because I can be quite aggravating. Okay, so he can be aggravating. He can be hard-headed. Guess what? I'm very well. I was. I'm. Not, I worked on that. I was very hard-headed. I was very stubborn. Guess what? He is very stubborn. But he is very caring and he knows me and he loves me for me. And that's what I really wanted. Somebody to really know me, someone to really see me, not see me just for my beauty on the outside, but see me for the beauty on the inside. And guess what? That all changed because of the level of awakening or awareness I had came to prior to meeting him. This is why I say we are all at different levels of awakening. And whatever that level is, it is here to work for you, not against you. You may not feel like it is working for you right now, but later down the line, you're going to look back and you're going to see, because if you think about where you are right now and look where you just came from, you're going to see how far you have came and how everything truly did work out for you. You have now been infected with the love virus.